boat rental there. His house completely disappeared, and overseas boat rental closer to the 7 Mile Bridge disappeared. They didn't know what happened to it.
Well, Gail, were there any reports from your dad tonight on the phone about casualties in that area?
No, he didn't say anything about casualties.
Were there any people missing?
No, not as far as he knew.
Well, thank you, Gail.
Two gentlemen also with us who are partners in a business down in Marathon, Garber's Motel and Yacht Basin, are George Garber and Russ Purcell. Mr. Garber and Mr. Purcell, let me ask you this. Mr. Garber, first of all, how long have you been down the Keys?
2 years ago, the 1st of September.
How about you, Mr. Purcell?
Came the 1st of September of last year.
Well, I don't suppose you fellows can be considered real conks, then.
That's for sure.
No, you know, that time. What type of facility did you have there, and how did it fare in the storm?
We had 24 motel units that we thought was supposed to be here to improve, but evidently weren't. We had a trailer park and a yacht basin. And by the looks of the pictures, it doesn't look like we have much left. Plus our rental boats and our charter boats.
Was this the first opportunity you had to see any photographs of the damage down there, Marathon?
We saw some pictures this afternoon that weren't too clear, but this gives us, the one picture was our office that we had just built at the motel and showed the new tile that we had just laid on the floor.
Is that so?
That's right.
On the program tonight?
That's right.
That didn't make you very happy,
Not
of
very
course.
happy.
Have you had any opportunity to talk to people down in Marathon?
No, we're flying down tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. One of the gentlemen also from Marathon is with us tonight.
Yes, Ralph, that's Mr. L.Y. Lee Thomas, who also operates the Marina and Yacht Basin, and who had taken in this afternoon, or rather yesterday afternoon, some boats from Mr. Garber and Mr. Purcell for safekeeping. Mr. Thomas, would you mind telling us what you think has happened to those boats you took into storage and the boats you had in your own basin?
According to the picture I saw there, it looks like there may not be any boats down there. One picture looked like it was the Thomas Marina Incorporated, and it was still standing. It showed heavy rain there. I could see some pictures of some boats there, but whether those boats are on the side or in front of the place, it looked like they're in front instead of the side where they're supposed to be. We had, 20 or 25 boats down there, and of course, I don't know what happened to those boats. Another thing of interest there is that the Catholic school and the Catholic church and the homes over there that the nuns used have all disappeared. I understand that Key County Beach has taken a terrific beating and possibly has been completely destroyed too. The northeast corner of, or end of Vaca Key, most of the homes there have been destroyed too. They're all cement block construction homes too. And what else there is down there?
Well,
this is very bad.
This is the worst catastrophe dollar-wise in the history of the Keys. Much of the buildup in the Keys has come in the last 10 years, for example, hasn't it, gentlemen? And there hasn't been a storm that has struck that area in that length of time. Has this always been a matter of apprehension for newcomers coming down there, as you have, Mr. Garber, going into business there? Were you overly concerned about hurricanes or possible damage to your place?
Not to the extent of what this was.
How about the insurance factor of millions of dollars in damage? Is this covered? Do insurance companies
Very little.
give you very little coverage?
Very little.
So most of this loss you have to bear yourself.
That's right.
One gentleman was quoted today as saying he felt that this would set Marathon back 20 years. What do you think, Mr. Thomas?
I don't think so. I think that within a couple of years, the most, that Marathon will be built back up again, possibly in a better town than it was before. After all, it is a very nice place. I've been going down there for a number of years. I started this business 6 years ago that I'm in now, and I've watched Marathon progress all along. And I believe that Marathon is going to come right back again just the way it was before, only much better.
Mr. Thomas, how about you personally? Do you think you'll be able to become a part of this new growth you were talking about? Will you be able to stand your losses?
I'll be able to stand my losses, I think, and come back all right, yes.
It may take some time, but you'll do it.
Oh, yes. Actually, I plan now on making a much better place than what I had before. And I'm going to make it stronger, too. Believe me.
Well, if everyone learns their lesson from Hurricane Donna of 1960, I imagine that Hurricane of 1970 will not create the damage, the confusion, the turmoil, the devastation that this one did in this year of 1960. Thank you all very much.
That's the spirit, Darrell, that's going to bring Marathon back. As you folks know, the people of southeast Florida and your neighbors up in the Keys here are entirely behind you in this effort and want to assist you in every way possible. But I think that 20-year figure we can forget about. It's just a matter of how fast the job can be done now.
And how much faith people have in the job they want to do.
This has been a special report on the damage in the Florida Keys caused by Hurricane Donna. Some late information on the hurricane. Right at the moment, it's boring inland through Florida this morning, through the rich citrus country. The hurricane hit the west coast cities of Naples, Fort Myers, and Sarasota. The storm's about 350 miles wide, and it's expected to do some of its heaviest damage as it cut through the rural communities. Wauchula, Florida, for example, is said to have been hard hit. All communications and access to Wauchula are down at the moment, but scattered reports indicate Wauchula had been hard hit. Fort Myers had winds of 121 miles an hour. There was one fatality in Fort Myers. Sarasota was left in partial darkness. The winds there reached 84 miles an hour. Heavy rains pose a threat to the central part of the state. And, of course, the citrus industry tonight is fearing the worst with that storm going through there at this time of year, just when the crop is reaching maturity. The eye of Donna, according to a late report, passed through Polk County between 11 and 11:30 tonight on a line running from Lake Wales to Mulberry, Florida. Hurricane warnings are now displayed on the west coast from Cedar Key southward, on the Atlantic coast from Savannah, Georgia to Palm Beach. Highest gusts in the hurricane are now estimated at 110 miles an hour as it crosses the mainland. One local note, the City of Miami Water Department tonight reports that there is no report on contamination of water in the City of Miami Water Department. Chemists have checked the water supply. Sheriff John Spotswood of Monroe County has estimated damage to the Keys from today's storm at from $600 to $700 million. That's our report. Good night.
WTVJ News has presented a special report on the destruction caused by Hurricane Donna, Ordeal in the Keys.